do know that the country looks a hell of a lot better than it did on January 6th. And I do know from what...
Honestly, I don't know.
What?
I mean,
really?
There's been so much.
Have you seen the footage?
Have you seen the border? Have you seen gas prices? Have you seen inflation?
And they're
have you
down.
seen schools?
And yes,
There is a precipitous quality of life.
What is better? What's better? What is better? The economy is better. Crime and safety is better. The border is not better.
But is that why he's polling at like 12% on the economy?
He's not polling at 12%. If you go and look at the Real Clear Politics average or the 538 average, you see that Joe Biden is around 2 points down in the averages there. There are a slew of polls, including swing state polls, where he's leading.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's your man Wise back at it again. Today I'm checking out a video from our guy Doug in Exile. Before we get into the video, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment down below. I appreciate all the love and support. AskWiseToday@gmail is the best way to get a hold of me. And we must have a word from our sponsor, Young G's Barbecue Sauce.
Young G's Barbecue Sauce. American.
Get you some Young G's barbecue sauce today. Link down in the description box below. Support a service-disabled, veteran-owned organization. Not only is this barbecue sauce good for you, it is delicious. Gluten-free, low sodium, and absolutely no high fructose corn syrup. Get you some Young G's barbecue sauce today.
The Trump getting fined hundreds of millions of dollars by Judge Engoron without a trial. And of course, Jessica Tarlov, who has lost her mind. New York could be ruined as a business state, and we're going to find out why. Welcome to Doug in Exile. I'm Doug Tenaple. This is where the happy patriots are.
This decision, in quotes, is a complete and total sham. There were no victims, no damages, no complaints, only satisfied banks and insurance companies, in quotes, in parentheses rather, which made a ton of money.
Now, that was Trump on Truth Social. This is Letitia James, how she ran to get Trump.
I will never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president.
Illegitimate president. That's dog whistle for election denier. She believes in the big lie. Letitia James is another election denier, claiming that when Trump won in 2016, that he was an illegitimate president. This is when they were pushing all the Russia stuff.
But Donald Trump was...
Absolutely. It's so sad because it seems like this happens on both sides. We've seen, back when, obviously, when Bush won, liberals said that he was illegitimate and he didn't win. I don't recall hearing that when Obama won. We did hear that people didn't think that he was a citizen, so forth and so on. And now, this time around, the 2020 election, the last election, people on the right saying that this election was illegitimate. How can we figure out a way to have a proper election that both sides can agree on, that the American people can agree on? And when someone wins the presidency or wins any race for that matter, we can look at that and say that it was a legitimate race. That person won fair and square. How can we go about doing that? Somebody let me know.
Convicted of this before we got today's sentencing. The judge had already found him guilty.
By just the judge.
But that is how the system works. You can change.
Okay, her first defense is this is how the system works. This is the system, guys. One judge, no jury, found Trump guilty. And when does a Democrat start defending the system? I thought they were supposed to overturn the system. What happened to power to the people?
Yeah, Democrats are actually against the system more times than not, especially when they're talking to black people. They're telling black people that the system isn't working. The system is broken. Which one is it? Does the system work? And this is just how it is? Or is the system broken and it needs to be fixed? Which one is it? You can't have it both ways.
Of inflating assets between $812 million and $2.2 billion. And I understand on the appeals front, and it will go to appeal. He has 30 days to do it. And I think his lawyer already has, that they are going to have to, as the judge said, prove that somebody was actually wronged by this.
Can you believe that someone has been fined $355 million? No jury, no victim, Everybody involved was compensated how they agreed to be compensated. But yet they say that this man broke a law and is guilty of civil fraud, and he must pay a fine of $355 million. Talk about weaponizing the government, weaponizing the justice system.
Someone actually being wronged. How about Trump was wronged? So yeah, they're going to get this thing appealed, but we don't know how corrupt the New York corruption goes all the way up to the appeals court, all the way up to the state Supreme Court.
Defrauded people, not paid his bills. I mean, this is what happened in the 2016 election when Hillary had a slew of ads about how he stiffs everyone from contractors, people who work in his buildings, et cetera. And this is the character of the man. These are huge inflations to get cushier interest rates. I mean, saying that his apartment in Trump Tower is 33,000 square feet when it's really 11,000.
This is what Jessica Tarlov says gets someone fined $400 million in New York, saying your apartment is 33,000 square feet instead of 11,000. Is that some kind of a sick burn? Worth, again, no victim here. There's no crime.
Mar-a-Lago, his tax broker, said $27 million ranks it as a social club when he's running around saying it could be $1 billion. It's actually $517 million. They're consistent lies. They are trying to understand people. Just because Deutsche Bank got richer doesn't mean that it's wrong. Political implications. I happen to think
this case could set precedents, and how many other people could fall victim to a similar situation or a similar type of case who have operated their business in a similar manner. If I'm not mistaken, Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, he was on, I can't remember which station. I don't know if it was CNN or MSNBC. He was on one of those, and he himself mentioned that this is how they do business. They're literally trying to run every businessman out of the state of New York. There's no way that this case can stand. And if it does, that means that they now have to go out and start investigating every person that does business in a similar manner.
And have said this since the beginning, that no trials or convictions will matter except for things like in Georgia. And obviously that is complicated this week by what's going on with Fani Willis.
So she's saying the only place this matters is going to be in Georgia, but now brings up Fani Willis has screwed up in her case. So even the best case scenario of what she hopes will happen with this election, that it will turn people away from Trump because he's been convicted of something or fined for something. And it's not going to work outside of New York. And New York would be an uphill climb for Trump anyways to win. It's not going to affect Georgia. Fani Willis is going to affect Georgia.
It's backfiring all across the country. Did y'all not see the applause? Did you not see the welcome that he got at SneakerCon up in Philadelphia, which is normally a staunch, highly liberal Democratic city? Did you not see the warm welcome he received there? Did y'all not see that lady in tears? She gave the best endorsement of Donald Trump that anybody could possibly give.
And the people are learning a whole lot about Fani Willis right now.
But he does better in the primary. But if you look at, and we talked about this in Iowa and New Hampshire, when you talk to voters about what's going to happen in a general election and if he is convicted of something, 32% in Iowa said they won't vote for him. Over 50% in New Hampshire said they won't vote for him. People don't want to vote for a felon.
That's not entirely true because of the way that they worded those things. The way that they worded those polls were, would you vote for a felon? Of course, the answer is no if you're in Iowa or New Hampshire.
Yeah, but certain places already have. There are some felons that are currently in Congress right now. Go look it up. There are some people in Congress right now, credit so daggone bad, they can't buy anything. No one would lend them $1. Seriously, y'all can go do the research. Don't tell me that people won't vote for someone who they can see as plain as day is being railroaded by the system. Don't tell me that.
Would you vote if Trump was falsely accused and convicted of a felony? Falsely. They'd all say, well, of course I'd vote for someone who was falsely accused. So the question is not, is he a felon? It's, was he rightly accused or was he uniquely pointed out for a political hit job? And I think that's where the American people will surprise you, especially in Iowa. Iowa people are going to vote for Trump in spite of these fake convictions. New Hampshire might go for him too. You might get a surprise out of there.
They don't want to vote for a criminal. Right now, he can coast along and say, this is about bias against me. You know, I'd never touch E.G. and Carol, even though he owes $83 million for doing that and then defaming her. So I think it does hurt him in the end, but not in this primary. He'll be even more of a juggernaut.
Remember, people proposed that it would hurt him in his primary, and it did not. That's why Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis ran.
Absolutely. A lot of people thought that. What they don't realize is that every time they throw a bogus charge, every time they convict, there's a bogus conviction, all they do is make the base stand stronger, and more people are starting to join because they're seeing it. And the reality of it is, it is about Trump, but a lot of it has to do with what's going on in these cities across the country. The border. You look at what's happening down there at the border, and now these people that are in Chicago and Denver, and you see the displacement of American citizens. We got homeless folks. We got homeless Americans. We got homeless veterans that are not being taken care of. But yet out in Chicago, we got migrants who received $9,000 and they're pulling their resources together and buying freaking apartment buildings. Somebody make that make sense for me.
Is they were hoping it would hurt him in the primary. It didn't hurt him in primary. Surprise, all the people that predicted it were wrong about the primary. The same people that predicted he'd be hurt in the primary said he will be hurt definitely in the general. I don't believe he'll be hurt in the general either. The same thing is going to happen. People are going to realize he's been falsely accused. And Americans don't just blindly go, hey, we believe the government. We believe that this New York Judge Engoron, there was nothing biased about it at all. No, I think even some New Yorkers are going to go, hey, Guido, hey, forget about it. This is a crime. This ain't right. They didn't do right by Trump.
Well, you're saying that people won't vote for a criminal. You're criminalizing him. All of these Democrats are just indicting him. And then you'll get a conviction, and then they'll get appealed, and they'll go to the court. You're ruining the process. You say this is how the system works, Jessica. This has never been how the system works.
Exactly. The system has never worked like this. We've never seen anything like this before. This country right now looks crazy. We're looking very weak and very third worldish right now. And the government is lying their tails off. And people like this lady, Jessica Tarlov, who, again, another shield, all she does is speak the talking points and stay on code. We see right through it. Those of us regular American citizens, we see right through y'all.
In the history of New York State, the Associated Press investigated, there has never been a case like this.
And this is where Jesse Waters and the Five start to destroy what Jessica Tarlov is trying to say. These are Democrats keep saying, look, this is a normal legal process in this court case. It is completely abnormal. It is utterly deformed. It is ruinous for America. And Americans who care about this country that is patriots are not going to fall for it. Are New Yorkers that dumb? Let me know in the comments below. Are they dumb enough to fall for this? Even Democrats? They're going to go, oh, this is normal. Sure, it's simple. It's normal.
There's no
It's crazy, man.
people that are complaining about getting swindled who are working for the Trump organization.
Has been ripped off all of the buildings along the West Side Highway.
Okay.
These people don't want to live in something with the man's name on it.
You were talking about partisan activists in Manhattan.
Away. All of Upper West Side are just partisan.
You're talking
activists.
about they took his golf club away. People love that course. Have you played it? You'd love it. If you could play golf, you'd love it, Jessica.
I can't.
You
I'm a
probably
tennis
shoot
woman.
under par.
This is just politics of we want to move out of his building because we don't like him as a candidate. It has nothing to do with what he actually did. This is a different form of canceling someone and boycotting someone is all Trump is facing. And what we're going to learn in America is we're more and more divided based on politics. I can't do business in New York. You'd be crazy to open a business in New York or DC. Elon Musk had to leave DC and reincorporate down in Texas. People are learning America is politicized and the left half is broken because they're so bigoted against the other side that you can't even conduct normal business in their state boundaries. I'm Doug in exile.
Appreciate you, Doug. He's 100% right there. America is divided. It's no longer on race. America is now divided based on ideology, based on politics. What do you believe in? You want the government to be all in your business, or you want the government to just do their job, secure the borders, make sure the nation stays safe. Other than that, leave us the heck alone. Right now, the worst states in the country to do business in are liberal states. Seriously, New York, Maryland, DC, not a state, it's a city. You can go down the list. California. I can't speak to Washington. I'm not 100% sure about Washington, how bad it is. There's some pretty big companies out there, and I haven't heard that companies out there are moving, although Washington has no state tax. So that might be a reason why those businesses that are out there, the Microsofts and I believe Adobe is out there. There's a few other big tech companies that are out there. They haven't moved. But when you look at the states that has received majority of the businesses, they are Republican led, conservative led. Look at Georgia, look at Texas, look at Florida. There's a host of red states down there that businesses are flocking to, specifically Georgia, Florida, and Texas. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment down below. I appreciate all the love and support. Keep God first in your life. America first. We got a country to save. Peace.